I have an update, and this genuinely may have cost Donald Trump the 2024 election. So North Carolina gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson, the self-described black Nazi who admitted to reading Mein Kampf on some random porn forum over a decade ago, has something in common with Donald Trump. And no, it is not that they are both absolute freaks, it's that both of their campaigns are in freefall right in front of our eyes. I want to break down why both Donald Trump and Mark Robinson are trapped in their own versions of campaign hell that they couldn't escape even if they wanted to. But first, this tweet reads, Mark Robinson is a black man who hates black people. Remember, he called himself a black Nazi. He claims to be a Christian, but he hates Jewish people. He hates transgender people, but he loves transgender porn. And he is a pro-lifer who has paid for multiple abortions in the past. Folks, he might be the most Republican ever. And this was only further reinforced by the fact that Mark Robinson flew too close to the sun. He was loyal to Donald Trump. He gained Donald Trump's affection, attention, and ultimately Donald Trump's endorsement, and that led to Mark Robinson's entire campaign blowing up beneath his feet when CNN uncovered chat messages from a porn forum over a decade ago where Mark Robinson is saying some of the most heinous stuff possible. Now, I respect you guys too much to repeat all of his heinous remarks, but you guys know the gist of it. We are 45 days out from the election and we have no time to waste, so all that I ask is that you leave a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. We hit 500k because of you guys, and we are going to hit 600k before the election. So let's jump in with this video of JD Vance being asked about Mark Robinson, and he gives the most politician answer ever. Watch.
Are you comfortable with Mark Robinson as the Republican nominee for governor in North Carolina?
Well, look, the allegations are pretty far out there, of course, but I know that allegations aren't necessarily reality. And what I'd say is it's ultimately up to Mark Robinson in North Carolina whether he's going to be their governor and whether he wants to stay in the race.
Do you believe him that those were not his posts?
I don't not believe him. I don't believe him. I just think that you have to let these things sometimes play out in the court of public opinion.
JD Vance says a few weird things. At the end there, he says, I don't believe him. I don't not believe him. That is such a slippery politician answer. But he also says it is up to Mark Robinson whether he wants to be the governor of North Carolina. Correction, it is up to the people of North Carolina who is going to be their governor. And it seems like Mark Robinson completely nuked his chances, because this article reads, nearly all of Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's campaign staff quits after CNN report. And this begins Mark Robinson's campaign hell that he is currently trapped in. Days after a CNN report about racist and sexual comments posted on a pornography forum, all but a few of Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's campaign team quit their jobs on Sunday. A campaign news release said that 4 top staffers have left the campaign: a senior advisor, a campaign manager, finance director, and deputy campaign manager. You can't run a campaign without these 4 staffers, so the campaign is essentially neutered, is essentially done for, and that could have up ballot effects. This is such a heinous scandal. Everybody in North Carolina looked it up. I mean, the searches for Mark Robinson were up 4,000 or 5,000% in North Carolina. I genuinely think this could have up ballot effects. WUNC has confirmed that other staffers have quit as well, leaving Robinson with just 3 people working on his campaign, 2 campaign spokesmen, and a bodyguard. The list of departures also includes longtime director of operations Patrick Riley and 2 political directors. And this explains why he is trapped in campaign hell. Yashar Ali said, news. Earlier today, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson announced that several top political aides had resigned from his campaign, but that's just part of the story. A vast majority of his campaign staff has quit. WUNC reports that Robinson has just 3 campaign staffers left, and now it's too late for him to drop out and be replaced. That is why he is trapped in this campaign hell. He is barreling towards an explosion, a train wreck, a disaster. He is going to get absolutely schlonged. He is going to get destroyed, and all of the polls show him down 10, and right now he is glued in the race with 3 staffers by his side. Watch this video of Harry Enton pointing out the stakes in North Carolina.
Let's take a look at the North Carolina polls, and this will give you an understanding of just how close the presidential race is in the great state of North Carolina, in the Tar Heel state. Look at this. It's Trump but by less than a point. We're talking like 0.2 percentage points. It's basically a tie. The governor's race between Josh Stein and Mark Robinson, look at this. Josh Stein was already leading beforehand by 10 points. I wouldn't be surprised if that lead expands a little bit. I think the question is, does this race impact this one? And does the scandal impact the presidential race? That's a question I'm not quite sure about. What I do know, though, is that North Carolina is just really, really important for Donald Trump's chances of winning the White House, because this is the chance of winning the election if either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump wins in the great state of North Carolina. Look at this. Kamala Harris, if she wins in North Carolina, she has a 95% chance of winning this election, which basically means it's a must-win for Donald Trump. Even if Trump wins in the Tar Heel state, look at that. His chance of winning the election is 74%, which is pretty good, right? But Kamala Harris, it's not a must-win state for her. It really is for Donald Trump.
Okay, so this state could act as a tipping point state in a similar way that Pennsylvania could. So imagine, on election night, if North Carolina is called early, we can essentially go to bed, because that means VP Harris has a 95% chance of winning the entire election. And my broader point here is, if we go back in this video, Trump is only up by less than 1 percentage point in North Carolina. I think Harry Enten said it was about 0.2 percentage points. So this Mark Robinson scandal could have an up ballot effect. And also, because the governor of a state is supposed to be, or even the lieutenant governor, they're supposed to be one of the most effective surrogates. So when we take Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, he is out there campaigning his ass off relentlessly, trying to get out the vote, and Mark Robinson can't do that. In fact, Mark Robinson has canceled multiple scheduled events. He can't show up to Trump rallies anymore. He can't go out in public or do interviews without being asked about this. His entire campaign is neutered. His entire media strategy is neutered, and that could give Democrats North Carolina, and there we go. We have a 95% chance of winning. So the report includes a long list of sexually explicit and racist comments made by Mark Robinson and posted to a site called Nude Africa between 2008 and 2012, and Robinson has denied that he wrote the posts in typical MAGA fashion. I always talk about Trump's mentor, Roy Cohn, who taught Trump to always lie, deflect, attack, and never admit defeat. And Trump carried that with him, whether it was the election where he lost, or the debate where he clearly lost, or the court cases where he lost and said all of them were rigged. But now it's kind of interesting seeing this broader MAGA movement. People like Mark Robinson, or Vivek Ramaswamy, or George Santos, all of these slippery, slimy people claiming that they didn't commit these crimes. It just doesn't have the same effect. Other Republicans have been distancing themselves from the GOP nominee, Mark Robinson, in recent days, despite Robinson saying he didn't do it. Trump himself has made no mention of Robinson during the Saturday rally in Wilmington, North Carolina. Even as the GOP nominee for Attorney General, Dan Bishop, spoke to the crowd, nobody mentioned Robinson. They're sweeping it under the rug. So again, Robinson is trapped in this hell where nobody will even talk about him. Nobody will acknowledge him on his own side. Trump won't talk about him. People in the state won't talk about him. MAGA supporters won't even talk about him. And now it's just all of the media with standards and ethics, people like us, just calling him out for what he did. Robinson thanked his departing staffers in a news release. You know there were tears running down his face while he did. I appreciate the efforts of these team members who have made the difficult choice to step away. I'm sure it wasn't that difficult. They were saving their careers, but I will leave you with that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.